But I saw this, which might be a lead-in to a moment with Bob. And according to the New York Times, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who threatened to fire employees at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration because their Birmingham, Alabama office had a weather prediction different from the monsters. The monsters said that Hurricane Dorian would strike Alabama. Now, because Wilbur Ross threatened to fire these employees, the Commerce Department's Inspector General and a House panel is investigating the events. Wilbur Ross, I can't help it. I guess I have a bit of Trump in me because when I see people that look like things, I just mention it. Just like Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle. There is no getting around it. Donald Trump looks like an absolute maniac, somebody that you would meet in the halls of a mental institution. But Wilbur Ross, if ever anybody looks like a troll out of those books that my mother used to read to me 70-some years ago, the Grimm's fairy tales. I think of, there was one, what's it called? Billy Goat Gruff? Billy Goat Gruff. About the billy goats trying to get over the damn little footbridge, and the troll that lived underneath would grab goats as they came over and eat them alive or something. It was horror, as all Grimm fairy tales were, which is why we use the word grim to describe something that's, well, grim. But Wilbur Ross looks like a troll, a shrunken one, but a troll nonetheless. Well, guess what? Guess what? If some of the fake news reporters are interested in getting a quote or two from this troll about those allegations that NOAA did a bad by not backing up the monster, if the reporters are getting a quote, they can find him next week, September 19th, at Government Executive Magazine's first ever Government Hall of Fame Gala. Government Executive Magazine is a division of Atlantic Media, which is the publishing house of Washington establishment pillar David Bradley. No, I never heard of him either. And this event, the mission of this event is being described, I guess, at their website. It says, quote, "We are introducing 2 unique award programs to honor a select group of leaders and innovators in public service each year. The Government Hall of Fame Award and the Theodore Roosevelt Government Leadership Award." Now, the Government Hall of Fame Award will celebrate distinguished civil servants who have demonstrated sustained achievement and unparalleled dedication to public service throughout their careers. That's how it's described on the gala's webpage. Now, Ross, the troll, the underbridge denizen, is not among the first wave of inductees to this Government Hall of Fame. He isn't. Other awards have gone to Constance Barry Newman, Norman Mineta, Donna Shalala. Now, here's the deal. Ross will serve as a presenter. He's not going to be given an award. He'll be a presenter. He'll be introducing Norman Mineta, a former Commerce Secretary. I think it was under Bush. He'll introduce Mineta to the assembled good government types. Now, according to the Washington Post, the lineup for the Government Hall of Fame suggests that the magazine, which is a division of Atlantic Media, the magazine is seeking an inclusive and bipartisan slate of names. And that's a good goal, right? I mean, the country is being riven. It is riven. It's being ripped apart by the monster. But the problem relates to the association between good government and the monster's appointees. There is no such relationship. It doesn't exist. There is no link of good government and the monster's appointees. They do not exist. The Washington Post's Dana Milbank recently wrote about how the monsters plan to disperse the Bureau of Land Management. Send them away is an expression of contempt for functions that cross agency lines. The monster is a destroyer, like all monsters, like trolls and monsters and beasts. They don't scurry about the countryside planting peach trees and orchids. They scurry about the countryside killing the maidens and devouring the young men and letting loose dragons. Milbank wrote, quote, "When your goal is kneecapping the federal government, anything goes," end quote. So, as we all are fully aware, when it comes to governance in the monsters administration, lies are at the top of every single program now. Every agency, every single government agency under the executive branch is run by liars, and they produce lies. Good example, Ross, when he appeared before Congress about the monster's ambitions to put a citizenship question into the census. Ross alleged that the Justice Department had initiated the request for such a move. And the Washington Post's Salvador Rizzo, who runs the Pinocchio department, awarded Wilbur Ross 4 Pinocchios for that one, noting that, in fact, Justice Department, quote, was taking its cues from Ross all along, end quote. Ross runs the Commerce Department, and the Justice Department is now run by a gangster, Trump's personal attorney. Writing in the Daily Beast, for example, Jay Michelson said, quote, Wilbur Ross lied to Congress about the GOP's plot to rig the census. This should be a national scandal, end quote. If everything that William Barr and Wilbur Ross and the rest of these people attempted to do or succeeded in doing were promoted as a national scandal, there would be room for nothing else, no other reporting. Every single thing they have done, every single thing that Trump and all of these government agencies originally designed and formulated to protect the American people from the death stroke of capitalism, every single agency is run by a liar. Every single thing these agencies have done have been designed to protect, promote the capitalist monsters and destroy the people. Even the incredibly empty-headed people who still support the monster, which is just staggering to me. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.